Sometimes cheap and expensive items are the same thing, with the only difference being the brand name. What are some examples of this? You guys should see the stuff we deal with in the medical field. I wanted to get a mesh metal glove to protect myself when using a saw during autopsies. Our medical supplier, Fisher Scientific, sold the hospital a medical-grade chain mail glove for $300. They forgot to take the Bass Pro Shops tag off. It was a $12 glove for cleaning fish. Costco Kirkland brand is often white-labeled brand name items. Aquarium nerds will know this one. Silicone. Aquariums are usually held together with silicone. And silicone is just 100% silicone, so generally predictable product no matter who makes it. Except, many brands for kitchen and bathroom sealing have added chemicals to keep mildew from growing on. The cured silicone. This is a big no-no for aquariums. Basically poison that would kill your aquarium pets. So you gotta read the ingredients and information carefully to make sure it's not anti-mildew or anything dubious added. Or, you can pay double or triple for a pack of silicone with a big aquarium brand stamp. ZzzQuil is at least a 200% markup from Benadryl. The only active ingredient in ZzzQuil is 25 milligrams of diphenhydramine, whereas Benadryl is also 25 milligrams of diphenhydramine. I used to work food packaging for Kroger. Roasted peanuts, dry oatmeal flavored or unflavored, cereal, chips. When we changed from store brand to branded item, we would stop the line and change the box and the package. The food is the exact same. Exact. Edit. For one thing, this thread was a to read. We all shared something today. Lol. For another, although I thought it would be self-evident, not every type of cereal, not every type of chips. Those of you who love your brand, fuck yeah, I get it. Cascade all the way. It's better and no one is going to tell me different. But when we say there is no difference, we mean it. Food handlers unite. Kirkland brand. Costco brand. 1 e.g. Bayer 81 mg aspirin $24.99 for 365 tablets. Kirkland 81 mg equivalent $4.99 for 365 tablets. Same active ingredient. Big price difference. What collection did you have as a child that would have been worth a fortune now had your parents not thrown it away? I remember when State Quarters first came out. My father sent me a collection of every first edition State Quarter, and one time I went to show my friends a while later and couldn't find them. I asked my mother and she said she had to use them for laundry. We were very poor at the time, so I understand. But I was a little sad by it as well because it was one of the only things my father ever sent me. My brother had a bunch of first edition Pokémon cards that he spent over a year collecting. Mom took them away for getting in trouble at school, and they were never seen again. Not any monetary value, but my dad got rid of my entire Lego collection when I was in the Navy. My sister is pregnant with her first child and mentioned she wished we still had my enormous Lego collection for him, her son. It may not have been worth a fortune, but it meant something to us. I had the complete collection of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles figures. I packed them into a box and put them away, then later, when looking for them, I couldn't find them. Asked my mother. Oh, those. I threw them out. You weren't playing with them anymore. South African coin collection that my older sister threw away without consulting anyone. Edit. Well, it looks like this resonated with a lot of people. Thanks for all your responses and for the silver from the kind person. Stay well, everyone. To answer your questions, thankfully, they were not Krugerrands. My parents would have kept those safe. They were random old copper coins that had become rare because they were old. I was young and naive and had never thought to value them. They may not have been worth that much at the time, but they were valuable to me for sentimental reasons. They may have been worth a few hundred each by now. Who knows? My sister was into different things at the time, so I don't think she had any clue about coin collecting. It was very mean to throw out my stuff, and I think she realized this later on. But I don't resent her for it because we all make mistakes. Edit 2. Thanks for all the warnings and DMS about the Nigerian prince offer. You restored my faith in the goodness of people. I realized it was a scam-style post but played along for fun. Sorry for causing concern. These scams are dangerous and are the cause of people losing their life savings. Thanks for staying vigilant. Lots of original Star Wars toys. They wouldn't be nib, definitely used, but still. Because trees have been around for millions of years. Insects like beetles and moths literally look like sticks and leaves in order to blend themselves from predators. How long do you think it will take for insects to look like man-made objects? And what object will it be? Any thoughts? Probably rather subtle, like more gray, black camouflage to blend in with tarmac, concrete, and metals. Edit. You guys can stop telling me about the moths now, thank you. I was trying to imagine what would be most helpful for blending, and my first thought was a metallic moth butterfly to specifically blend into metal, mirrors, glass. But then I thought that's probably not somewhere they'd want to sit extended amounts of time in. Also, the higher amount of those materials around the lower amount of flutter boys. Then I started thinking, what's an environment with a ton of both bugs and man-made objects together? And my first thought was rural areas and farms. Imagine a stick bug type insect but camouflage to look like a nail sticking out of wood. Or maybe a moth that instead of looking like bark looks like finished and varnished wood grain. I could see a cigarette butt beetle. When people are around, it just stops moving on the ground. Mostly found on beaches and along state highways. Toasty at Home Award? I'm honored and humbled. I don't know if this counts, but it's already happened. https en.wikipedia.org/wiki/peppered_moth_evolution. Imagine a fucking M&M biting you. See, they will begin to look like our vehicles. And then they begin to turn into them and grow while the humans leave Earth. But they gain intelligence matched by ours and take over the world. Then, cue up Cars movie and watch that with the idea. I took it from there in the Pixar theory. What fictional character do you absolutely hate? Muffy from Arthur. Yeah, her character is supposed to be the snobby rich girl. But she goes far beyond being just that. She is rude to all of her friends and doesn't even try to acclimate to her school environment. The only time she does is when an episode doesn't feature her and she becomes a voice of reason for someone else facing a conflict. And she isn't good at that at all. One time when Francine's family hosted her, she was the worst guest ever, complaining about everything when they were doing the best they can to make her feel welcome. Then when Francine is annoyed by it, as anyone would be, Muffy is the bitch who plays the victim. Another example is when she scheduled her birthday party the same day as Arthur, even though it wasn't her actual birthday. And Arthur had people from out of town coming in. She's just a sociopath that never feels empathy for anyone, and her character isn't a good example for children. She has no redeeming values at all. The popular kids in Lilo and Stitch. Nurse Ratched from One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, a cold, heartless tyrant rather than the caregiver a nurse is expected to be. She's the personification of the dehumanizing effect of living under authoritarian rule. Dinkelberg. That cowardly, Weasley, rat-faced looking, fucking little bitch Percy Wetmore from the Green Mile. Fuck that little shit. That old prick in The Last Airbender that turned in the earthbender that saved his life and got him sent to prison. He was a piece of shit. What is the worst thing you've seen a little child do? When my cousin was about 4 years old, caught him spraying hairspray into the furnace flames trying to blow the house up. Good times. Saw a young girl enter a store with her mom and throw a fit when she couldn't get a Barbie doll. Her wailing caused a group of people to show up and things blew up when the girl decided to say that the woman was not her mom. Police were called. I, being a young stalker at the end of my shift, told my manager that the girl came in with a woman and promptly clocked out. Long story short, told to me by the manager the next day. The police sorted the situation and they left the property a few hours later. Me. It was me. This was at our first house. So I must have been between 2 to 3 at the time. We were in our driveway with one of my parents' friends. I was just playing around like usual. I had a chalk and a dark green easel in my room, which I enjoyed playing with often. So I was in the driveway milling about, when I found a piece of chalk and spotted their friend's dark green car. Toddler me saw no problems with this, so I started drawing. My mom saw what I was doing. Suddenly everyone got really upset. Really fast my mom made me drop the chalk, and my hands were completely bloody and started to hurt. I was so confused and upset. It didn't occur to me until later what happened. It wasn't chalk, it was glass. I scratched that poor guy's car up to kingdom come with glass. We still saw that friend for years afterwards. So it evidently wasn't a friendship-ruining moment. I'm sure they paid for the paint job. In another case of mistaken identity, did you know that to a child who knows nothing about cacti, certain ones look super soft and fluffy? They're not. They're absolutely not. I do a lot of secure transports between hospitals and psych facilities. I once transported an 8-year-old kid who flushed his parents' insulin because he knew they needed it to live. Oh gosh, the list could go on for me. But here is one incident that really irked me. My sophomore year of college, my cousin asked me if I can take her 2 daughters, 11 and 6, to the mall, because she was busy and the girls wanted to use their spending money. We go to the mall. I buy them ice cream, and they spend their money. As we're leaving, we pass Claire's and boy oh boy does the youngest wanna check it out. Now here is some backstory with these kids. Their mom, my cousin, doesn't punish them worth of shit. I had their son throw a toy train at me once and all I got in response when I told his mom was, "He's 9 and you're 19. Just be the bigger person. He's just a kid." That kind of parenting. Anyways, I tell this 6-year-old that we can look, but because she already spent her money, we weren't buying anything. As soon as we walk in, she goes up to something she wants and says, "Buy this for me." When I say no, she announces in the store, "Fine then, I'll just take it," and proceeds to walk out the door. I take the U back and tell her that we are going home. Never have I seen a kid throw a tantrum like this in my life. The worst part was every time I tried to carry her or grab her hand, she'd scream, "Help me! Help me! I don't know you." The oldest kid records all of it and sends it to her mom, who then simply responds, "Haha, good luck." Quote, when we got home, my cousin told me she wouldn't have thrown the tantrum if you just got her the toy. I was livid. My neighbor's kid was burning ants to death with a magnifying glass. After a while he decided that ants were too boring, so he tried to hold down his cat burn with the magnifying glass. Let's just say the cat fucked the kid up. Subscribe, my brothers.